This is an awful alibi. That sentence doesn't make sense. Authority. Oh, sorry, keep going.
He needs your legal representation.
No! I just destroyed his whole... A very special Tuesday Newsday special with Nick Dominy and Dennis Cheney.
Two big special boys.
Two big old special boys. Our last day doing this format. Picked out the best weird news stories. We got desk jokes at the end. Like and subscribe. We got important stuff coming on this channel.
We're going sideways.
We're going undercover, baby. It's gonna be all bathroom stall, hidden camera, not on other people. We're gonna wear those Ray-Ban glasses and make weird noises in bathrooms. It's what the people want.
Unfortunately, that's true.
But today you get news. Are you ready to kick it off, Nick?
Let's do it.
Headline. This comes out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Man arrested in deadly shooting of a friend who said he could dodge bullets.
Wait, did the shooter say, "Hey, I think you can dodge bullets," or did the guy say, "I think I can dodge
Friend
bullets"?
who said he could dodge bullets. Be like, if I told you, I feel like this shouldn't be a crime. If I told you I could dodge bullets and told you to take a shot at me. A Utah man has reportedly been arrested for shooting and killing his friend. ABC4 reports the 23-year-old Ashton Mann is facing charges that include felony manslaughter after he was arrested over the weekend. So they did knock it down to manslaughter. The United Police Department responded to a home in the Kearns area after receiving a call about a man who was shot in the chest. Damn. He didn't even do a good job dodging the bullet. If it hit the side of his neck and hit the, you know what I mean?
Or for hit him in the leg and the femoral artery.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, well, maybe he can dodge bullets.
Yeah.
First responders found the man unresponsive on the floor and took him to a local hospital, but he did not survive. Guns 1, man 0. Yeah, this is not funny, but it is. Detective said man told him, the guy's name is Man. Detective said man with 2 N's. Detective said man told them that he and his friends had smoked marijuana around 8 p.m. Isn't this how every shooting starts? That evening, and began talking about guns in the kitchen.
No, sometimes
Every shooting starts.
Sometimes the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl. That's how a lot of the shootings start.
That's true. Man and his friend then went into the garage to continue their conversation, where the two reportedly were handling handguns when the friend said he could dodge a bullet. The 23-year-old told police that they unloaded the guns they were using, but one of the guns ended up firing and struck the friend in the chest while he was trying to, quote, jump out of the way. Okay, I'm going to pick that apart for a second. Man told the police that they unloaded the guns they were using. So he's saying that he didn't know the gun was loaded. Mm-hmm. That's the Alec Baldwin defense. Mm-hmm. Next phrase. But one of the guns ended up firing and struck the friend in the chest. Pause. Okay. Me and Nick are hanging out in the garage and we're unloading the guns. One of them fires on accident and strikes Nick in the chest. But then he ends his statement by saying, while his friend was trying to, quote, jump out of the way. He is saying that his friend had time, that this is completely an accident. They're just sitting there unloading guns, and then it goes, pow! But his friend, he can tell in the amount of time it took a gun to shoot a guy
20 feet.
Yeah, at most. At most. They were probably 6 feet from each other. That his friend had
one-car garage.
His friend had time to react and, quote, jump out of the way. He's saying his friend could dodge bullets. This is an awful alibi. That sentence doesn't make sense. Authority. Oh, sorry, keep going.
He needs your legal representation.
No. I just destroyed his whole... He's clearly...
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Authorities said they found the 2 handguns in question at the home along with ammunition and drug paraphernalia. Why would mentioning that he said he could dodge a bullet? If the story is dude, he just got himself fucking on trial for manslaughter. If they were just two dudes
What would the
playing with guns, unloading the gun. Sorry, keep going.
Well, what would the charge be if they were like, it was a negligent discharge and you accidentally shot him?
Like you're just cleaning it and you think it's empty.
Yeah.
I mean, it would still be some kind of manslaughter. It would still be manslaughter, but it might not be.
How?
I have to imagine that running your mouth to the cops and saying he said he could dodge a bullet. I saw him trying to jump out of the way. Like that really sounds like you're fucking aiming a gun at somebody.
That's the highest alibi someone could come up with after they shot their friend.
That is a super high alibi. Because it's two different stories. One is the gun accidentally went off, and the other one is he was bragging he could avoid a bullet and tried. Which, if it really just went off, I don't know.
He almost succeeded. Almost succeeded.
He's a fast dude.
He should have ducked, instead of jumped. Then it would have went over him if he's that fast,
Yeah. I'm looking at, in Utah loft, two friends are cleaning and unloading guns, and one of the guns goes off in friend's one's hands and shoots friend two on complete accident. What is the highest legal charge? Second degree felony. Negligent homicide is a class A misdemeanor. Third degree felony is discharging of a firearm causing injury, but that might have to be, that is even intentional. Reckless endangerment.
So wait, go back up to, what was 2?
2 was negligent homicide, which is a class A misdemeanor.
Right.
He was charged with a felony.
That's crazy.
So I would argue, in my expert opinion, that had he not told the story about the friend saying he could avoid a bullet, which is the most sus thing I've ever heard.
This is not legal advice.
This is not legal advice. I'm just saying, had he said we were just, oh my God, we were unsure that being high comes into play and all this shit. Had he just said we were cleaning and unloading guns and it fucking went off without me pulling the trigger and it hit it, I would assume, especially in a gun-friendly state like Utah, there's a chance he would have got the misdemeanor charge. There's a chance that shit like that happens.
Yes.
But the minute you say we're trying to play the Matrix in the garage, that shit's a felony for sure, dude. If not, he's kind of lucky. He's kind of lucky since, unless this whole conversation about the guy can dodge bullets is on tape, he's kind of lucky it's not murder. Somebody has to really believe part of what he's saying.
Oh, yeah. The detective absolutely has to believe that is true, right? For it to be...
Because there's no way to prove it. It'd be like if I shot you right now and the cops come and I go, dude, we were just playing a game. Guy said he could dodge bullets. And they're like, all right, manslaughter for you. I mean, it's not even like, that's literally what happened. This dude could just be a murderer.
Interesting.
Anyway, thoughts? Sorry.
No. Other than that, that's they get the Darwin Award for the marijuana category this year.
And obviously I was being sarcastic when I said that's how most shootings start. That is kind of like a philosophical, they had to have argued about it too. You know that you know exactly what happened here. They were sitting there eating Doritos, and they're like, you can't dodge a bullet.
Nuh-uh.
And he's like, I'm pretty fast. And then he went like this, and his friend just saw like a trail of his hand. He's like, shit, man, maybe he is fucking you. Like, let's go out back and test it out. Anyway, rest in peace, sir. All right. This one is, what we got?
No, unrelated.
All right.
Let's move on.
This one, jury duty. Have you ever wanted to get out of jury duty? What would be your go-to to get out of it, Nick? Some people will say they're racist. Some
Insanity of some sort? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, that's... Wait. for jury duty?
I don't know.
You would plead insanity. You would get your jury duty summons in the mail. Go down to the courthouse. Wait for 8 hours. They'll pull you into a room for voir dire and be like, is there any reason you think you can't be a juror on this case? And you'd be like, Your Honor, I'm butt-knucking insane.
I don't know.
You're one step away from standing up and going, I'm guilty, Your Honor. You end up in jail over jury duty. Most people would say things like, I don't like cops.
Oh, well, I don't even
I don't
know.
trust the criminal justice system. You can bring up jury nullification. People have said they're racist before. You can say you're prejudiced against if the defendant's a woman.
I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't have to go to work that day.
That's true. Dude, I just think that's amazing. Insane. That's amazing. I'm sorry. That's great. That makes my life. That's like easily the funniest thing. You just like shit your pants.
Well,
You shit
I
your
wasn't
own
gonna
pants
say
while
it,
you're-
but
while you're- It's so funny because it's like
get some of those little packets of peanut butter and reach it on my pants and eat it.
it's such a common human experience to like get jury duty and be like, what should I say? Should I say I'm busy? And you're just ready to like fucking take off your clothes. Scream
Well, I
about
didn't know
being
how
Jesus.
easy it was. Yeah, I would just claim to be the Messiah.
My, Your Honor, I cannot serve in this jury duty. I am the second coming. Okay, well, that's funnier than anything we're going to read in this story. The story is actually kind of serious, but it has kind of a happy ending. A New York judge was called for jury duty. This comes from KLSL.com.
Irony.
A judge was called for jury duty, and what do you think his defense was? Why he can't serve on a jury? He said he can't be on a jury because he thinks all defendants are guilty. Albany, New York, an upstate New York judge has resigned after he got out of jury duty by claiming he could not be impartial because he thinks everyone brought before court is guilty. Robert T. Snyder, former judge, for about a decade, left his post after being charged with misconduct by a state judicial commission. According to court transcripts, Snyder tried to avoid serving on a jury in 2023 by first identifying himself as a judge, saying, I know everyone who comes in front of me, I know they're guilty, or they would not be in front of me. He was eventually dismissed from serving on the jury after he continued to argue that he could not be impartial, saying, no, it would not be fair. Ooh, the judge who was overseeing the jury selection reported Snyder to state officials. Usually I think reporting, unless it's like a serious, is like kind of a, should like admonish the person, but like that's good job on that judge for not being all buddy-buddy. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
yeah.
That's like an automatic. You gotta fucking tell somebody that.
Yeah,
You gotta get this guy off the bench eventually. I wouldn't be shocked if
he
Shit ton
upheld
of
the
people.
rule of law.
Oh, yeah, of course. At a judicial commission hearing the following year, Snyder said he understood defendants are supposed to be considered innocent until proven guilty, but that he still felt that people wouldn't be in court if they didn't commit crimes. Quote, I meant that they were guilty because they did something wrong, but they're not guilty till they come to court. They're innocent until proven guilty. That doesn't track. That's a contradiction. They did something wrong. That's why they got the ticket, but they're not guilty, he added. Snyder, who was elected as a justice, is not an attorney and has agreed to never serve as a judge again. Now that's interesting.
Read that again.
Snyder, who was elected as a justice, the judge, is not an attorney. He was just elected to be a judge.
Oh, wow.
Well,
So
that would
wait,
explain
wait,
some
wait,
shit.
wait.
What whacked out township?
You don't have to have a law degree? You can
Not
just-
everywhere.
Oh, that's crazy.
Technically, a Supreme Court justice can be anybody. Wendy Williams could be a Supreme Court justice. I don't know why that's my anybody. You don't have to have a law degree or be a lawyer. He was a justice. He was a judge in Petersburg, a small town outside Albany. near New York's border with Vermont.
I'm gonna move to one of these places and run on the ticket of nullification of all crimes.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
I think I could win the popular vote, right?
That's crazy. You think you would, yeah. Now that's like a freaking. Apparently the township has 1,400 people. Dude, if I so much as got a speeding ticket from this guy, I would be freaking finding a way to appeal it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Because it shows a prejudice, right?
Well, yeah.
Like,
well, it shows an inability to do his job
Yeah,
or to
okay.
uphold the Constitution. He's literally saying you're not innocent until proven guilty. That's his entire job. I don't even understand how a judge, because you have to know like procedure and shit. I don't even understand how
the clerk could like know the procedure and he just.
Yeah, but if I get a fucking,
I don't know. Like I'm trying to sort it out.
Let's say I'm in a domestic dispute and I go before this judge, and my lawyer says that's hearsay. This guy.
What would he say?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. He would just be like,
he doesn't even have to know what that means.
"Nah, I don't think so."
He'd
And
be
he
like,
could
it's more like a her say. It's more like a he says. That's crazy.
Well, again, more proof that we are in the hellscape timeline.
Now I gotta know, what are some states or cities where you can be a judge without being a lawyer? Let's find a place to move. What? Arizona Justice of the Peace. So he must have been a Justice of the Peace.
What's the difference?
I'm not entirely sure. He probably does certain. I would assume he's like some kind of super low judge that does shit like tickets, like purely misdemeanors, maybe even things that do not include jail time, the risk of jail time at all. Stuff that's almost administrative, pretty much.
This is saying a judge is a general term for a court official, presides over legal proceedings and makes decisions, often requiring a law degree. A justice of the peace is typically lower level judicial officer with limited jurisdiction, handling minor civil disputes, traffic violations, small claims.
Okay. So he's handling stuff that's so small that you wouldn't be entitled to a jury trial, or there's no jail time involved. That's still a wild story. Okay.
Well, I learned something today.
Justice of the Peace to me sounds very like old-timey.
Yeah.
Here's a feel-good story about someone chasing his dreams. This comes from the Manchester Evening News. Boy, 13 years old, arrested at hospital. I just got an internet ad that told me to pick up a bottle of olive oil and take a swig at night. I just want to throw that out there. I will not be doing that. I will not be drinking oil of any kind, although I do prefer olive oil. Shit, I guess I do eat it with bread all the time. Anyway, we got to think of the clips. 13-year-old boy arrested at a hospital for impersonating a doctor after turning up wearing scrubs and a fake ID. A child was arrested by police at a hospital following reports of a person impersonating a doctor. Witnesses claimed the youngster attended the hospital on the morning of January 19th wearing scrubs and with a fake ID. Police were called to the Deerford Hospital in Plymouth at about 10:30 a.m. It has not been confirmed which part of the estate and the youngster was on, nor whether he had access to patients or medical records. Now that is a Ferris Bueller's Day Off type shit. Police have now confirmed officers attended the hospital and the child was initially arrested, but later dealt with by means of words of advice, with no further action being taken. A spokesperson for the police said they were called at around 10:30 a.m., 19th of January, blah, 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 for security, following reports from staff of a male impersonating a doctor. They attended and arrested a 13-year-old boy. The boy was de-arrested, and the matter has since been dealt with by way of words of advice, intervention, education work from the child centering policing team. No further police action will follow the incident. I want to know what he got away with.
What did his ID badge say?
I know, or was it even a fake doctor ID?
Dr. Stevens, boobologist. It's like, I'm here to inspect your boobs, man.
We might get into this in a future show, future episode. Did you know
I mean, Doogie Howser was 13.
that? Yeah. I wonder I want to know how long. I wish they published it like this, because what everyone's wondering is how long was he there?
Yeah.
Who did he fool?
Right. He didn't get nabbed right away. Or maybe he did. I guess.
Maybe
I
he
don't
just
know.
kind of walked around flipping a clipboard for a while.
When they say impersonating, that's kind of...
Just wearing I'm guessing he's just wearing a costume.
Yeah.
But it could be as far as him like walking into random rooms and being like,
Did he get scrubbed in for surgery or something?
Yeah. We gave him a good talking to. I believe this is England. Where is Manchester? England, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe I had to Google that. Dude, the names of things in England are crazy. Look at that one. Wythenshawe, Altrincham, Avarton Le Willows, Westhouston. Get some normal names. Anyway, that's a good feel-good story. Oh, I was going to throw this out there. I'm a big Leo guy. You like Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
Were you aware that movie's kind of a scam in and of itself?
No.
Okay, we're gonna do a show about this. I found out recently, and apparently it's on good authority. There's a whole book about it that we will do a thing about eventually. Apparently, most of that shit's just fucking fake. And the guy's probably biggest scam and most successful scam ever has been convincing people he did all that shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Like he really did kind of like leave home and do some criminal stuff, and some of the places and names and stuff are true.
So he wrote a book and then sold the rights?
Well, he wrote Catch Me If You Can, I believe.
Okay, and then he sold, his scam was like selling the rights to the movie, right? And then...
Yeah, he wrote it with Stan Redding, yeah. So his scam is kind of just selling the world on this fucking story, this grandiose story about his life.
That's amazing.
It is kind of amazing. Definitely makes him less exciting. I think he's cooler if he really was like being a doctor and shit. And,
yeah.
but from what I heard, and we'll do the research and we'll present it to the audience at some point, but from what I heard is there's a very well-researched book that more or less nails him for making this shit up. Like, they can prove as a matter of fact he was like in jail during certain times and like interviewed the primary characters of the story, and their relationship with him was like nothing like what he kind of said. He kind of makes himself way more desirable to women in the story than he really is. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Well.
he wrote this book about being a badass criminal, and really he was kind of just a two-bit criminal. Anyway. All right, let's do the last one here. I have actually a couple you can select from. Do you want animal news or another impersonation story?
Let's do animal news.
All right. This one's been all over. It's from National Geographic. Oh, shut up. Okay. These eager beavers saved the Czech government $1.2 million. Officials in Brdy region of Czech Republic were in an impasse. Despite securing more than $1 million worth of funding for a new dam to harness water issues, the project had stalled over 7 years of planning because the necessary building permits and structures couldn't be acquired. But then everyone woke up one morning in January to find the job had been completed by 8 beavers for free. Beavers always know best, said George Lost Overmeasure, head of the Central Bohemian Office of Czech Nature and Landscape Protection, which first reported the stories. Beavers are semi-aquatic rodents that use... I'm not reading a paragraph about what beavers are. I'm not doing that, National Geographic. Yeah, anyway, so this is all over. You can Google it. They were skeptical. Okay, a beaver manager for the southern part of Bavaria says he's not surprised to hear the beavers did a good job. He's a little skeptical to say that they did it overnight. He says, I could as well believe the pyramids were built in a week. It doesn't matter. They built the dam right where the fun part of this story, now it's educating me on what beavers is, but this story is in other outlets too. I've seen it a couple times. The fun part of the story is government bureaucracy got in the way. There was $1.2 million. It was 7 years. These beavers just went and did it. They just went and did it. Be like the beavers.
There was when I was growing up, there was this farmer, and he had like this creek or small river that ran through his property, and he used it for irrigation. But some beavers had like built a dam, so like he couldn't irrigate properly, like below the dam. Essentially, it was stopping so much water from flowing. Anyways, messing up his irrigation, and so he just blew it up with tannerite. Just put a whole bunch of tannerite on it and shot it, and just.
That's amazing.
I mean,
that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, sad but fun.
Another Downs, Kansas.
Yeah,
we should do a segment. We should get like a little theme music, like
Downs, Kansas.
Downs, Kansas. So that is just you being like. Anyway,
I've got a ton of great stories, and I got a bunch of horrible ones too. That I would not tell on this podcast, but.
Oh, what, did you tell me in private?
I've told you some of them.
Oh, okay. About the farmer and his 3 daughters. Well,
yeah, that was the night I slept in that barn.
Yep.
Outside of Downs.
And he said, "Don't stick your willy in the hole." You watched the Mr. Show Sunday?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You said okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Jack Black.
I rewatched that skit specifically like a couple weeks ago.
That's hilarious.
Just
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, it was probably a month or more, but yeah.
I mean, I haven't.
Of all the ones I could have watched, it was
right.
that one.
All right. Who's ready for desk jokes?
Me.
All right.
Should I start?
I'm gonna start actually.
Okay.
Start with some sports news. The city of Philadelphia has erupted into chaos and rioting with multiple injured or dead after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Authorities did say they were prepared for this, however, given that this is exactly what every day in Philadelphia is like.
Well, I got some birthdays. Here we go. I got them backwards. Sarah Palin turned 60 this week. The 9th governor of Alaska said she really doesn't celebrate her birthday, but she's excited for the daylight to return so she doesn't have to defend her home from the Night Stalkers. And hopefully she can just get out and enjoy a nice meatball sub.
Just get out there. Diddy is getting sued again. This time over a one-night stand he had with a street performer. We reached out to the performer for contact. Unfortunately, no one has heard from Hawk to a Girl for the last month. She is a street performer. I know. The only thing she's ever done.
Laura Dern is 57 yesterday. Most recognized as Ellie Sattler from the Jurassic Park movie. Dern plans to celebrate by joining the Russian paramilitary Wagner group in their fight against Ukraine.
I'll go ahead and jump on the birthday train. Jeb Bush turned 72 this week. Please clap. don't have a joke, but you just have to remind everybody.
Poor bastard.
I know.
Matchbox 20 singer Rob Thomas turns 52 on Valentine's Day. He plans to commiserate with all the other self-involved jerks born on famous holidays by posting something like, "Why didn't I get 2 birthday gifts?"
Oh, Rob Thomas.
Yeah. Yep.
You'll always have that Santana song.
I know.
While we're on the topic of birthdays, I do have an in memoriam from this week. At the age of 38, I am sad to announce musical and recording artist Drake was murdered live during Super Bowl 59 halftime show. I am just hearing this.
I got one more birthday. Simpsons creator Matt Groening turned 70 on Saturday. The cartoonist said he wants to spend the night at home like he does every Saturday, sacrificing the neighborhood pets to the entity that tells him the future.
Ooh, I didn't know you were going on a future telling date there. The rest of mine are all really dark and not great, but okay. This week in history, February 11th, 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison in South Africa. Nelson Mandela, best known, of course, for producing and starring in the movie Shazam, a heartwarming story of a boy and his genie.
I like that one. This is kind of a two-parter.
Okay.
So,
Do you want me to break it up, or are you doing the whole thing?
you can do, I'll pause and you can do your joke.
All right.
Last week, Punxsutawney Phil emerged and saw his shadow, indicating that doing the deep inner work and exploring the writings of Carl Jung is really starting to pay off.
President Trump made waves this last week for saying the U.S. will take over Gaza and make it a real estate development. A giant golden tower in the Holy Land. What could possibly go wrong? Hey, it's not the end of the world.
We're just getting started. Phil said he's also considering a carnivore diet and a cold plunge regimen, and also noted that it was strange that his predictions are wrong 65% of the time, but that coincidentally there are over 100,000 patents on Google for weather modification.
Whoa, 65%. That's got to be actually like statistically significant. Maybe we're reading it the wrong way. 2/3.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read one more, then make you read this one.
Okay.
A new AI-powered death clock app on the Apple App Store is getting a lot of attention for its promise to accurately predict the user's year of death.
Whoa.
You can also pay $10 a month for the pro version, which leaks small amounts of Hillary Clinton's emails to you. Every month. I read that wrong.
Go straight to your Apple Watch.
Okay. Hit my handwriting.
Who is this?
Ron Howard.
Oh, okay. I thought it said doctor. In an interview this week, director Ron Howard said that he had to...
Said that Tom Hanks.
Oh, okay, God, you're biting it so
I
bad.
know. Should I just read?
You should read. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to be stumbling.
God damn it. All right. In an interview this week, I just wanted you to say this. In an interview this week, director Ron Howard said Tom Hanks had to take off his pants in front of the Mona Lisa during the filming of the Da Vinci Code. If you think that's bad, wait till you hear what he did to the mermaid in Splash. Was he in that? Was he in Splash?
I don't know.
Okay, here's how. If you think that's bad, wait till you hear wait till you hear what he did to the kid in Big. If you think that's bad, wait till you hear. Anyway. Wow. I'm just glad we're not ending this segment. What? This is an appropriate end. When we start, okay.
Did you ever hear do you know who Isaac Cappy is?
No.
He was an actor. He was in the Iron Man. I think he was in the first Iron Man. He was a small part. He went on this, like, he started doing these Twitter lives, and he was saying, like, wildly damning shit about Seth Green and Tom Hanks and a bunch of other Hollywood people.
Oh.
And that they were, the Seth Green stuff was that he had a sex dungeon and was a pedophile. And the Tom Hanks stuff was that he was murdering people.
What?
and posting cryptically about it on his Instagram. It was like he would post like one glove on the side of a road with some cryptic message, basically accusing him of being a murderer. And then the last one he did, you can't find him anymore. But I happened to like follow a guy who had recorded them all and then was like showing them and giving his take on it. The last recording he did, which was alive, Isaac Cappy he's like, I'm not suicidal, and he's like looking off camera.
Famous last words.
And then he jumped to his death off a bridge over Highway 66 in Arizona, but the bridge was like 15 feet. It was like a very low bridge. It would be almost
It's an odd choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like that's where the story ended. He's like, I'm not suicidal, and then a day or two later went missing and committed suicide. And he was found like a trucker ran over his body in the road, but the trucker said that
He was clearly dead.
yeah, he was just laying in the road.
I wonder if they just drugged him and left him in the road.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks killed Richard Cappy.
Yeah. That story haunts me. I can't like go back and find all the stuff I was watching at the time.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow for the last Advice Wednesday.
You'll have to figure it out on your own.
You're going to have to start figuring shit out on your own. We are not suicidal. Good night.
We are not suicidal.